Dos Landis, your host, me, Jeff Landis. We are number 47. Man, I can't believe 47. That's a lot of guests.
Oh yeah,
So, who are you again? And tell us a little bit about what you do.
I am Vigo Johnson. I'm a musician, actor, and screenwriter. Um, I make scum folk music. It's my own genre of music that combines classic folk with punk, emo, and grunge influences. I've been gathering a pretty big fan base, and I wrote and starred in the hit short film Smokestack.
Oh my God, I've seen the trailer of that from you, Prince, and Brandon. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a seller. I don't know what it is, but just the way it came off, and everything. Hopefully, it comes out on DVD. I want a copy of it. I loved it, man, from the trailer from what I've seen.
Oh yeah. I don't know anything about like the distribution of DVDs or anything. I'm not really in that, but it's been performing great on Facebook and performing really good on Amazon Prime, and I'm super proud of it. It was a crackpot idea that was just kind of thrown out in a coffee shop. You know, I was hung over and I was like, "Well, here's this idea," and they were into it, and we immediately got into production. And I feel like there's been a lot of runoff between that and my music career. 'Cause I'm signed to a local label called Black Metal Magic Productions, and we've definitely got a lot of followers of people that know me from Smokestack, so that's been extremely helpful.
So, what made you decide to get that bug? Because, like I said, being in the entertainment business, I've been doing TV since I was 14 years old. And what gave you that bug? Like, hey, I got to do this. This is something, a passion. Because a lot of people have that passion in the entertainment business, but they're afraid of it because of, again, people are afraid to go out there and push themselves. But you push yourself to not only be an actor, but you're also doing music as well. What made you decide I got to do this?
Yeah, my older brother, he always did music. He was in a garage band for a good while, and his bassist wasn't allowed to have his instrument at home. He had a very Christian family that was like no rock music, you know, and so my brother would play guitar, and I'd pick up Chad's bass, and I would play bass, and I started at 6 years old, um, just sort of getting into that scene, and then over time, I was big into my brother listened to metal music and gave me all his old punk records. So I was listening to all the old punk bands and grunge bands. And bands like Minor Threat, Nirvana really influenced me to make music. So when I was 14, me and some friends talked about starting a punk band. I got into playing punk around Indiana when I was 15. I was in a handful of bands as a bassist and vocalist. And from there, that was just all I wanted to do. I dropped out of high school, um, and everybody kind of held that above my head. My family was always like, you need to go get your GED, have a fallback plan. But I've been living, almost a decade now as a starving artist, and I'm loving every minute of it because people always say do what you love, and you never work a day in your life. So there's definitely a struggle behind it. I went a while without eating, but it's putting out the music and the way it makes me feel. Seeing the numbers go up, and because in my music, I like to put a lot of my personal opinions and experiences into it. So in a way, it's like venting stuff that I don't really get to talk about. All of it just culminates in this feeling that I feel like you can't really get anywhere but entertainment. And acting, man, it's just something I love being in front of the camera. I love having eyes on me and just being able to express myself in ways that other people can witness. And so I felt like acting was an immediate next choice.
That's pretty cool. Like I said, I seen you in the smokestack when I seen the trailer. Like I said again, that was just awesome how it was done and just how the acting and everything. You did a good job with it. I'm glad I got to have a chance to interview you. I know I added you once, and then you unfriended me once, and then you start to know like, oh, because being Prince and we were all talking about doing a Zoom. Eventually, we'll do a Zoom interview. Like, again, I I did my first ever Zoom interview on somebody else's account yesterday. So again, eventually we'll get all three of you guys on for sure.
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, Smokestack was extremely fun. It was a very low budget film, and I'll be honest, we didn't really expect it to get as big as it did. Like, we weren't really, we were expecting it to be like our first project out. Like, I was not expecting it to get, into the thousands of views the first day it was out. I was like, oh man, we've actually done something with this.
Yeah, it drew numbers for sure. Have you done any more acting anywhere else, or was it just that was your first ever feature
Uh,
thing?
that was my first ever feature. I was in a buddy's student film years ago that never went anywhere. Um, but I played, it was just a horror movie, and I played like a Russian chemical experiment because I'm the only person they knew that spoke Russian. So
Oh, sweet.
I didn't have a big role. Smokestack was my first ever like acting debut as a leading man. It was pretty amazing.
Sweet. Now, Severance, if I wanted to listen to your music for the first time, how could I listen to your band, and how can I get a hold of you? Severance, if I wanted to book you for an acting gig, or if I wanted to book you for anything.
Booking, um, you can either come to me directly or go through the label. Go on Facebook and look up Cult of the Black Circle. You can message them there. Black Metal Magic. You can message them there. Cult of the Black Circle is my manager's band. I always get the two names mixed up. But then if you want to message me directly or support me, you can find me on the Bandcamp where you can buy my records. Vigo's bandcamp.com /Vigo Scumful. And Instagram, it's Scumful Vigo. Just look up Vigo Johnson pretty much anywhere. You can go on Spotify, all the big streaming services, YouTube Music, Vigo Johnson. Here, my records that I have out, I currently have 3 EPs on a full-length record and 2 full-length records coming up at the end of 2020.
Sweet. Now, before we go, what would you like to say to the fans out there that's watching the Dose of Landis?